Hello everybody, this is Turbo Dog, just giving you an update. I know I had a few people inside of my chat about 4 days ago, and unfortunately I've been very busy over the last few days and haven't been really able to get on to work on Arbadet. Um, I wanted to kind of touch bases with you guys to let you know that we're actually going to be starting our first session starting Friday. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it on stream, but we're going to give it a shot. After that, we're going to see how it works out, make sure we're all comfortable with the system, and maybe after another session or two, we can start getting people in from the stream. So, time to get excited about that, hopefully. I'd also like to take some time to just mention that besides working on the campaign world and hopefully broadcasting our sessions, I'm also going to be doing a series that caters more towards um, how to more effectively play the game, get people more immersed, and just general things with design and dungeon mastering in general. I'm open to ideas and questions on what I should cover in these types of things. Right now, I have a few different types of things where I discuss, say, ruling a thematic character versus a mechanical character, and the issues and pros and cons of both, and how one works in one setting and one might not. I'm going to have another video that I'm probably going to do first that's going to discuss the software that I use and that my players use. I kind of want to do that just to get it out of the way. I find myself spending, about 30, 40 minutes every time I get on discussing the types of things that we use. I'll probably put something on the FAQ for my site, but I'd like to have another video just so that people could get a general idea and gain access to these things too, because they've been very helpful for me in running my game. I'll also have things that talk about metagaming and how to try to minimize it. Other things is just kind of trying to tackle the alignment issue that people have in a lot of their games. I'll be discussing some of the issues that do occur, what you might be able to do to tackle them. Another thing I'm going to be trying to do is I'm going to be probably calling Breaking Away from Tolkien, where I discuss how um, the types of things that Tolkien has impacted in fantasy gaming and trying to draw a line on how much you really want to take from Tolkien and how much you can really branch out and make your own thing. I'll also try and grab things as far as art, like discuss how I can take art pieces and not just for characters, but take different design pieces and kind of use them to grab ideas for your campaign, transform it into something. Just get your gears running. Try and stop writer's block. I might discuss more about E6, E8 in another one, which I've discussed in a previous thing. I think it's an excellent system, and it's what we're going to be using, so it might be good to get people involved with that. I'll also be discussing magic and the power that it instills inside of a game world, and why you need to be very careful as a DM and as a player to keep it from really breaking the system, unless that's what you're trying to do. I'll also be talking about the anatomy of a dungeon, which is where I'm going to try to take dungeons that we've already went through and really try to break them down. And if there are another DMs, I'm going to try and talk with them and kind of interview them and ask them what they were thinking, why they made certain decisions, what they expected the players to do, and what actually happened, and just general design choices. Really break down and cut up a dungeon, and I think that might help out quite a few people. Another thing will be like, I'm going to try to tackle the idea of a player's ability to remember compared to what a character would remember. Just to kind of briefly touch on that, for example, like a lot of times you'll give the players a crucial piece of information and they'll go, oh, well, they'll kind of like forget about it just because maybe it has a weird name or they don't think it's important. But later on, their character needs it. And a lot of players will complain that, oh, well, my character would have remembered that, because it's important to him. He would know that. But they don't. And kind of like the difficulties with that. But there's a bunch of other things too. I just gave you a really simple one there. Another one that I'm looking at is laying the groundwork for a campaign, where I talk about picking a system that will work for you, picking a theme that you discuss with your players, and a style for it, which is very big in homebrew campaigns, but really also for pre-built ones as well. You don't want people who want a really gritty, realistic grimdark setting playing with, 2 or 3 people that want a very comedic take on it, or very pop culture. I'll also be tackling house rules versus raw, and raw being read as written, and how you might be able to apply concepts into your games. Also, a general look at how game designers tend to think and why they set up things the way they do in raw. And then also I'll try to be covering a separate section where I talk about the suspension of disbelief, which I will try to cover how you can create worlds that are just believable enough that you're able to get away with things that maybe aren't completely accurate or realistic, but they don't completely just slash your game world in half and make it look like a joke. But anyway, I just thought I'd do this little update. So again, we're going to try to start on Friday. Hopefully I'll have that up and streaming, and hopefully many sessions to come. Also, as I mentioned before, I will try to start streaming during the daytime more. I've just been quite busy, and I've also been trying to figure out what exactly I can do for the program in order to be more interactive. Hopefully that includes getting a second monitor, so fingers crossed. All right, thank you very much for watching this. Hopefully you guys will show up and continue watching.